such a beautiful morning. It's raining. Yes! It's raining in Cape Town, guys. I am sitting with the beautiful ladies from Future Females. I've got Serena and I've got Lauren. We're going to chat a little bit about where they come from and just Future Females and their global domination, guys. Like, I am so impressed with these ladies. Like, and they need to school me how to take over the world. Yeah, these two are running the world. Guys, they're running the world.
We will be.
So, chat to us about why Cape Town, Serena. Where are you from? Why Cape Town?
So I'm originally from Namibia.
Mm-hmm.
I was in boarding school in South Africa. I did my bachelor's at Stellenbosch.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back to Namibia. I worked there for a couple of years. And I just, the reason actually why I left Namibia, I was doing a master's and I decided it's a good time to kind of step out of it. And I also knew that I want to be exposed to as many leadership or leader position people as possible, because I want to learn from a lot of people and what I want to take out. It was a little selfish, I guess.
No, it's good.
That's why.
Yeah?
That's why I'm here.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit about CITI and what you're doing downstairs. She's just downstairs, guys, which is so cool.
Yeah, so City Cape Innovation Technology Initiative, they're an incubator, 18 years old. They run several incubators. EdTech, we're launching a biotech one. There's one in engineering. Then there's also different ones in ideation, or if you're a little older, longer, short periods, like 10 weeks, but also some of them 3 years.
We're not age old.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm program manager there, so I help with the project design and yes, that. But I also do the measurement and evaluation, so the impact.
So important,
yeah.
So, for me, with the 88 Business Collective, I came into it from a heart perspective. I was like, let me help other women not make the mistakes I made. So it was a very hard decision initially. But as I'm growing into it, it's becoming so important for me to be able to measure the impact that we're having on the female founders that we're working with. So I love that. It's so important, right?
Yeah, I guess we're learning as we're going. What should we track?
Yeah.
How do we track it? How often do we track it?
Yeah.
Because it's easy to track numbers. What is growth? What is turnover?
Yeah.
Employers or employees that you employ. But what's the change that you're actually making on the person or on the so
and you and I can possibly chat about being able to measure those softer skills and impact, right? Because yes, you're so right. You can measure revenue, you can measure how many employees, or just the growth of the business from the time they come into the program to the time they leave. But it's those softer skills. And so I say to our sponsors, I know without a doubt that the woman that I met a year ago in our accelerator program are not the same woman that I see now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They're more confident, they're bolder, they're definitely more courageous, they're more strategic. How do you measure that?
Yeah, it's so difficult.
Right?
And it's also something that Lauren and I are talking about for Future Females.
Yeah.
Because we don't always know the impact that we have. I was at a startup grind event the other day, and the lady just came up to me and she said, I've never met you. I went to one of your events. I posted on your group, and I got 5 clients.
Whoa!
And she didn't want anything from me.
Yeah.
And she's like, thank you, and then she left. I was like, oh my gosh, Lauren. Those are the things that you want. You want to help people in that way. So she just got 5 clients just from posting in this community.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Lauren, okay, so I'm a little confused, guys.
Yeah.
Lauren, chat to us about where you're from and why Cape Town?
Cool. So I was born in the UK and spent 18 years in Australia. I moved to Cape Town last February. I just really wanted to leave Sydney and do something different and get out of the rat race. I was in management consulting. I was actually working in New Zealand and living in Australia, so it was a really long commute. And I'd been to Cape Town twice before. My partner's South African, and I just felt at home every time I landed here. And
So you got yourself a South African man.
I did.
Ooh,
I had a
okay.
visa. That's what I call them. So we were debating, London or Cape Town, and based on the weather this morning, Cape Town was the obvious choice.
Yeah.
So here we are, and I think it just feels a lot more entrepreneurial. We initially said we'll come for a year and we'll just see how it goes, and then maybe go get serious in London. But I just can't imagine ever leaving now.
So it's Future Females. How did it start? Why did you start it? How's it going?
Gosh, well, Serena and I actually met just over a year ago in this space that we're
Yeah.
sitting in now,
Okay.
which was cool. We were part of the Textiles Accelerator,
Yeah.
which partnered with Barclays for 3 months, and so we were supporting 10 fintech startups, and there was a cohort of about 80, and there were 3 women, I believe, and we just thought that is not okay.
Yeah.
And I will not swear on your live cam. It's not cool. So we initially thought, particularly because I was very new, I didn't have a network, we thought we'd find another initiative and rather just support their move forwards rather than starting something by ourselves. We just couldn't find something that really resonated with us that was about positive forward momentum that touched on, as you were talking about, the softer personal development skills as well as the more hard business development skills.
Yeah.
So we started it a week before the launch event, actually, and
Whoa.
the feedback's just been great ever since. So we kept going. I remember someone at the launch event just said, like, this is exactly what they needed, and we filled the gap. And I think it's also filled a gap for me personally.
Yeah.
And if I can speak for Serena, for her as well. So
Yeah.
that's why we kept on going.
Yeah. And you're doing so well. So I remember that the initial conversation, because we were running our boot camp with our female founders over here while Textiles was happening as well. And we had that initial discussion around what you guys were planning to do. And just to see it grow from that initial discussion to what? London, Berlin, where are we?
Yeah.
And a year, guys, a year, a whole year. Okay, I'm just gonna try and move this a little. I want more of you, Laura.
Oh, God. I wish I heard that. I feel like it's kind of this organic thing. We always talk about it. It's like, sure, I feel like we're the guardians of this movement, but it's kind of over there doing its own thing and just growing of its own accord.
Yeah.
Like all of our ambassadors, all of our global launches have just been organic. Everyone on our team, all of our new initiatives, it's really just someone taking the reins and running with it. It's not always me and Serena. So
That is amazing that you guys were able to do that, right? That you were able to say, we're going to let it grow and be organic and grow into what it could be, what you want it to be, and not be control freaks.
yeah.
You're like,
Oh my gosh.
Wouldn't say we're that great.
I know.
oh, did you just get it grown?
Yeah. But did you experience with your business, or do you still experience that? I have this feeling if something is good, if you really, I don't know, it's like, and I think, again, I'm going to speak on your behalf, but this is like something that's just meant to be. It's just like, it's like this piece in me, this thing that we're doing now.
Yeah.
And suddenly, everything fell in place. And now the good is just coming. Do you feel it?
I do.
When you moved up, because you were also in management.
Yeah.
When you started this thing that there was this, and then
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. And I was chatting to Aisha Pandal the other day, and she said to me, Anto, I know that you keep saying that you just decided to help female founders not make the mistakes you made, but you need to realize that there's something powerful about being at the right time, at the right place to do this. And I think we were probably just on the cusp, because this year we've seen the Time's Up movement, we've seen the Me Too movement, and all of this happened post both our launches, right? So I think we were just strategically placed, just at the right time, doing the right thing,
Riding the wave.
And it's just been incredible. I mean, I always say that 88 Business Collective doesn't make me the millions the ad agency did, not yet. But it's the most rewarding work that I've ever done. So talk to me a little bit about just female founders and just the challenges that you guys have come across. And why female founders? Because I get guys asking me that question all the time.
Yeah, sure. So an exercise that we did at our launch, you were there. So you did this exercise. We asked our community, one of our values is community driven. We only ever want future females to fill a gap when there is one to be filled. So we did a co-creation exercise with everyone that attended and asked what are the themes, what are the topics that they really need help on in their businesses or in their lives. And what came through was a lot of these personal development skills, like I mentioned before, which wasn't what I was expecting, given like my background and my current business. It really was like networking and influence and how to crack into these critical conversations and build confidence to hold your own space and all of these types of things that we didn't see really addressed at all during Techstars or with any of the other programs that we work on now. So I think they're the challenges that we've seen that are not being met elsewhere. And also I think that's why Future Females has kind of expanded a little bit from solely just being focused on founders as we started to really now we say we're for entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs.
Okay.
Like what woman doesn't need help with their personal brand and their confidence regardless of the role that they're in. So we say now that Future Females aims to maximize your 4 scarce resources, which are your time, your energy, your relationships, and your money.
Ooh, okay, say that again. Your time, your energy,
your relationships, and your money.
Ooh, that last one, hey?
I mean,
that last one, the one thing that I want to do is try and fix the female founders on our programs' relationship with money. Because I think as women, we just have such an unhealthy relationship with money.
And I just wanted to say that because, I mean, we coincidentally, AJ Collection and Future Females had this finance month in May. And it was so, it was just, we actually just learned so much. Obviously we knew there was a need for it because we did the survey. But in that month, the interaction, people are so scared to talk about it and to ask about it and to, it was such a good month for both me and ours.
And it's incredible for me just learning how, and maybe I also had a moment where it's like, I think I'm the only one that has this issue with money. But just learning how everyone is, and I don't know if it's institutional, if it's structural. Where does it come from? Where we know how to generate revenue. Like we, as women, we know how to make money. But to take that into profitability and to grow it into a personal wealth that then leads to generational wealth, we struggle with that.
Definitely. I think it also just comes down to, it's our relationship with money, but also our value for ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, from a freelance perspective, it's like charging the right prices or upping your prices when you need to. Actually, our money event was interesting because it was our slowest selling event right up until the point of the week that it was on, and then it was probably our largest.
Whoa.
So I find even that kind of difference in purchasing the tickets tells you about the relationship. We're like, I'm not going to think about that.
And also like the interaction at the event, the questions that they ask. Even yours. Yours was just after hours, and I the questions that they were like, so hungry for that. Now I broke through this ice. I'm just going to ask all these questions.
And now for me, I'd love to build on that. So I actually want to start a series called Founders in Finance.
Good.
And let's just keep diving into it until we get comfortable with making money and growing it.
Yeah, well, actually, if I can recommend a book that someone in my team bought me straight after the event, so she obviously thought I needed a bit more personal.
Which one is that?
It's that Manage Your Money Like a Fucking Grown-Up.
Oh.
And it's written by Sam Beck-Singer, sorry if I said your name wrong. She's a Cape Townian, and it is for South African women. It is incredible. It's really good. Yeah.
Maybe we should do an event for that.
Yeah, well, hopefully she'll see this.
Get
in touch, please.
We're on a mission. I'm really on a mission to try and fix this because I love to see in the next 5 years at least 5 women are the top richest women in South Africa. I mean, for me, that alone is an indicator of just how poor our relationship is with money.
I think so too. And both of us talk about the metrics that we're trying to shift, and there are so many. But the one that really resonates with me is the global distribution of wealth. And we say 1% of the world's wealth is owned by women. It's probably a bit more really, but if you don't own the wealth and 1% is ridiculous, then you don't own the decision making. So for me, it's like that needs to fundamentally change. And creating your own businesses is really how we're going to do that.
And in creating your own business, getting really comfortable with it is a business that needs to generate revenues. Those revenues need to lead to profitability. That profitability needs to lead to personal wealth that leads to generational wealth.
Yeah,
exactly.
I had a really interesting conversation yesterday, and Lauren will be able to add to this. I actually haven't chatted to you about it, but it was something separate. But she's got so much experience with this. Oh my God, now I'm going to say so much that you said. So Lauren always says there's a lot of women that starts businesses for like lifestyle businesses. They don't start it to Facebook or whatever. Maybe Facebook did start it, because you did it anyway. And what I think happens is that people live out of it. Right? They just live out of it. So the accounting system and the profits and that doesn't reflect what's really going on because you're living out of it. And because of that, they go like, oh, maybe I'm not making that much money, or no. And why the conversation I had yesterday was about exit strategies and what is it worth, the value, and your cash flow, etc., and how you can live, and that you're living this great life. You work really hard. So that's also something that I've learned now, which I don't think that we always thought about. But if you have this lifestyle business and you live out of it, you don't really know how much potential there is, or how big it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah, and even like for me, I don't know what this brings that I think I'd be a social entrepreneur, but that's what I am. But even as I've transitioned into being a social entrepreneur, I always say that I'm not going to be poor while I'm impacting the female founders that we're working with.
Definitely.
So I am focused right now on our 2019 and beyond financial strategy, and looking at different revenue models and looking at different ways for us to become self-sustainable. Because I sincerely believe that you can do well while doing good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Future Females is also a for-profit company. We're not profiting right now.
But it's anything for both of us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think for women, the other thing I see, like on both of your points, is what is your goal? And if you're starting a lifestyle business and you can take your money out of it and have the lifestyle you want, then what is the incentive to work harder or grow more or release more products? And I had this same dilemma maybe 3 months ago.
Okay.
And I said to my boyfriend, because he just quit his job to also focus on the business. And I was like, we can both already live the lifestyle that we're happy with. Why would we want to do more? And it's like breaking that mindset shift and going, what else is out there? And thinking about things like generational wealth. It has never occurred to me ever that we also need to instill in women and really get those stretch goals or VHAGs or whatever people want to call them. Get us really challenging ourselves. Don't set a goal that we know we can hit.
Oh, absolutely. No. Absolutely. So you guys launched in London? Was it last month? Right?
No, 3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're good. I was there and I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
So where are we now? 29.
29.
Yeah.
3 weeks ago.
Okay. So how was it? How's it going with the global expansion?
It was great. So we're really lucky. We have a team of 6 in London who are spearheading this, and more people keep asking them if they can join. They're actually such a driven, amazing team. I think they're putting us to shame. We're like, what's the October theme? Oh, but no, it went really well. It was really well received. I think what we do well, or what we truly believe in, is collaborating with other communities rather than competing.
Oh, no.
And so we were lucky to have, the startup brand in London, who were global, supporting us. We had Virgin Startups, we had Blooming Founders, and she was the last person to leave our event, the founder of that, and she's got her own community of thousands, and we're, month 1 there. So I think we just felt very supported. and hopefully we can continue feeling like that.
And I love that point of collaborating, and I'm big on collaborating. It's another big shift that has happened for me post liquidation. Like the Joburg girl in me was not very collaborative. But I've learned to be extremely collaborative over the past 24 months. So a lot of times people ask me, aren't you supposed to compete with future females? And I'm like, no. So we had this chat the other day, right? And for me, it's like, no, there's so much work to do. Like the more we have associations, communities, accelerators for female founders, there's too much work to do for me to go, oh, I need to be competing with future females.
Well,
Like,
absolutely.
no.
I also think of it kind of as a pipeline. And we spoke about this,
yeah.
but not everyone is addressing the same life stage.
Exactly.
And if we're all focused 0 to 1, which we're not, then
Yeah.
we'll only ever get to 1. But it's like, we're 0 to 1, you're 1 to 3, then
Oh,
who do you
so
pass it
true.
on to?
Yeah.
And then we'll get there faster.
Yeah.
I love that because what I've also, so when I went to Austria, the one thing that I loved about them is that their tech ecosystem seems to be extremely integrated. And I really love that. So that's, I think, what we have to work towards is to get this ecosystem extremely integrated, where, yes, there is that pipeline of university students that come in and maybe they're ideation and they go over there. Eventually they come into Future Females and then they come into the 88 Business Collective and they exit into an investor.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I asked the guy in Austria, am I being overly optimistic to think that we can streamline this thing the way I have it in my head? And he said to me, just don't try and control it.
Okay.
So I think, yes, so not going to try and control it, but I think there is an opportunity to streamline it so people know exactly where to go.
Definitely, I think so too.
Because what I loved is the analogy of learning to ski, even in the tech ecosystem. So when you're learning to ski or you're just starting out, you go over here. If you're a little bit more advanced, you go over there. If you're a pro, you go over there. You know, so they've even done that with the tech ecosystem, which for me was amazing. And I'd love for the Cape Town tech ecosystem to be a little bit more integrated. There's a lot happening, but I feel like it's fragmented, which is why I love collaborating with you guys, because I think it's the one way that we're going to get to making it just a little bit more streamlined.
Well, let's do it.
Let's love. Oh, so what's next for you guys? Oh, what's a big goal? Was it 20 cities? What was it?
Yeah, 2020 and 2018, and
Yeah.
we're halfway.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
so
what was
halfway.
it?
Yeah, we're 10. We're in 10 right now.
We're clearly 100% on track.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we are, so Port Elizabeth is going to launch.
Oh.
We've had an ask.
Yeah.
One of our speakers actually, Fadia, is hopefully she's committed properly, but she's moved down to Port Elizabeth from Cape Town and is going to run the chapter there, which is super exciting.
And what's really nice also about it is, so we have someone that's also approached us from Grahamstown. And Grahamstown is the Leek University, so they're going to link in together and support even the girls and the women and the females in Grahamstown and try to. Which we're very happy about because I do think the students need that and this exposure too. You know, you don't always know what you want as you when you're a student, and just to introduce them to this entrepreneurial space. Then Zambia and Zimbabwe is in the pipeline. Also Nairobi
and Melbourne.
Yeah. So then Melbourne. Then Melbourne is also. Possibly Sydney. We're doing research in Sydney. We have some chats in Sydney, and then Utrecht, and just outside of Utrecht, just outside of Amsterdam.
Okay.
Yeah, I asked her how do you pronounce it. This, I'm like,
okay. Now I know.
Yeah. So those, so Amsterdam. Those are the organic growth, which is definitely happening in the next few months.
Yeah.
And but we also we've realized that we have to also target growth. We need to we need to decide which cities also do we want to grow into, and not only we're really grateful that we've been growing the way that we have, but no business should just sit back and things happen. So we have some cities that we're focusing on, or that we have in mind. We're thinking about the East a little bit.
Oh, cool.
Stuff like Singapore, Malaysia, Dubai, and then also it's great that we're going into Africa. So Africa will also be a big focus. Yeah, and then definitely some South American cities too. So one of the things, because we're all about impact, you know, one of the things is that the first world countries have a lot of support.
Yeah.
Right, and so we just feel like there's so many women out there that actually need this more than the first world countries.
Oh,
so it's really great to launch in first world countries, and we'll definitely be there and love it, obviously.
Yeah.
But we acknowledge that, you know, there's other women that also need support, and we want to do that.
You know, from our Austrian trip, that was the other highlight, was chatting to ladies from the Philippines, from Malaysia, and Mexico.
Yeah.
And just sharing similarities of note in terms of what their female farmers are going through. If you look at the Philippines, for instance, they've got 130 million people, right? So if you're developing a tech solution that could be perfect for that market as well, I think I'd love, especially for our Cape Town female founders, to start thinking a little bit more continental, and global. And this is why I'm focusing so much on your global expansion today, because I think sometimes our female founders get stuck. And stuck in a tiny space like Cape Town. Cape Town is tiny, it's a village, guys. It's a village. Right? So even again, I've said this before, even if you just compare 200 million people in Africa versus 55 million people in South Africa, come on, right? The numbers don't lie. So as female founders, as entrepreneurs, it is time for us as South Africans to really start thinking bigger than where we're at. Because I've come across so many female founders that might have been in business for 5 years, for 8 years, for 10 years, but they're stuck here. And they're not even thinking about Joburg. They're not even thinking about the continent. Just here, Botswana, just swing that. You know?
You know what? I worked on a program which was sponsored by a UK company. And all the mentors and stuff, they will always talk about going global and is this, you need to change your product so that it can go international. And I was thinking, and actually at the end of the program, one of the things that we said to the entrepreneurs, we said, you don't need to go to America or to Europe. Africa is massive.
Exactly.
You can just merge into Africa and service Africa, because our problems are different, our experiences are different, our challenges are different. So if we have to solve the problem in our product for the American, you're not going to solve it for the African, because it's different.
Exactly.
That's why a lot of the things fail when they come here, because the challenges are different. Like the market in Africa, or like you say.
Oh, love. So please, let's take this out of this conversation today. Think local. What's it say? Local. Let's think continental.
Look it up.
Yeah, local.
I don't know if it's an insulting term. I just made it up. You can have it.
There's a whole world out there. I need you to start exploring. And I know that the East African expansion, as much as it was a colossal failure, changed me. It changed the way that I see the world. It introduced me to me quick fast. Like I was introduced to Anto really quickly. So it's so important and it's easy to do. Look at the ladies a year into Future Females and look at the amazing things that they're doing.
Well, you too. And we were so happy that you came and spoke with us as well. It was really awesome.
Oh, thank you, love. Thank you. And let's collaborate. I think the days of competing fiercely like sharks in a tank and dragons in a den, those days are over. There's a new era, it's a new dawn, guys, where we need to collaborate. And especially as Africans, we've got so much work to do. To unleash the true potential of this continent, we've got tons of work to do. So we cannot be competing with each other fiercely. we need to start collaborating. So we are going to continue to collaborate. Thank you, ladies. Any last tips, advice for female founders?
No, but I think there's a quote that I really like related to your like collaborate rather than compete. I forget who said this, but it's the rising tide carries all ships.
Yeah.
And I just think that's so true, and it's something I think every time I'm creating a product or thinking about a partnership. So just keep that in mind.
Yay, love that. So
That's quite nice.
yeah.
I guess I would just say believe in yourself and
I love
try
that.
it and test it, and you might be surprised.
And your motto, what was it again?
And my motto is
Be vulnerable.
be vulnerable. Oh my gosh, I don't even remember. Be vulnerable and be courageous.
Yeah, and that is so important, guys. I think sometimes too, especially as female founders, we think that we have to have it all together all the time. You need to get yourself into a village, into a community where you can be vulnerable and say, today, I do not have it all together. So the other tip from today, or the other piece of advice I want to leave with you guys is fix your village and make sure that you're surrounded by people that, one, have you, and two, will allow you to be as vulnerable as you need to be, because you need that space. You can't have it all together all the time. You're going to break at some point. And you're not going to break like I did. It's like it's completely unnecessary. So, so just make sure that you surround yourself with the right people and give yourself the space to be vulnerable. Okay, ladies, have a beautiful weekend.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
Thank you.
Love you guys.